this Thursday is the superintendent at Grass Lake Schools, Dr. Ryle Kiser. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's everything going?
It's challenging. It's fun, but it's challenging.
Yeah.
So keeping us busy.
Well, it is the busiest month for a superintendent. You know, have got so much to plan for with so many question marks hanging over your head. So it's just day to day probably for a lot of it.
Pretty much, yeah. We're just, I mean, all the things we usually do during this time are kind of on hold until we find out where we're going to be next fall and what the state's going to, give us some guidance in and how to do stuff. So that's what we're looking at right now. So.
And we have, I think, some knowledge about what it might look like in that we're going to do it as a state, whatever we do, right?
Right. Yeah. Supposedly, the plan is that it's going to be a state mandate on how we're going to open up the schools and the process we're going to open them up. So, basically it's either we're all going to come back like we used to, or we're all going to do virtual, or there's going to be some type of in-between hybrid type of activity that we could be doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about, some of the challenges, and, one that I didn't even think of till this week is getting kids to school. The school buses are not exactly set up for social distancing.
No, I mean, the seats aren't even 6 feet apart from each other. So, I mean, you're probably looking at maybe 10 kids on a bus if you're lucky, if you're social distancing correctly. So, yeah, if they open up the schools, the biggest challenge is going to be working with the parents in the community on how to get them there. So, but, that's a bridge we'll have to cross when we come to it. And Grass Lake, our community is really supportive, so I'm sure they'll work with us to get whatever needs to be done. So,
if you think airplane seats are close together, you have not been on a school bus.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. In some of those buses, we put 3 kids to a seat, so the little kids. So, yeah.
So the class of 2020, what are the plans? Are there some ways that Grass Lake community is going to be celebrating your seniors?
Well, we started off with, we put signs up with all their pictures on along Main Street in the Grass Lake. So
we've got a picture.
Yep, there you go. So everybody who drives through the downtown Grass Lake and through the main drag gets to see all the graduates. Every one of them are put up there. We'll be moving those up to the high school later on in the spring, so that they're all there. And then we also have informal kind of slideshow that we're doing as well. And then all their names are also on the reader board outside the school district. So they kind of scroll through so everybody knows who graduated. And then we also have an informal, there's the informal slideshow. So, so we're kind of trying to splash our kids and our seniors and celebrate the achievement with them as best we can. It's a challenge, but it's kind of unprecedented times, and so we're trying to be as creative as we can right now. And we're actually looking at hopefully doing some type of graduation ceremony in the future. We'll see.
How many seniors in the class this
About
year?
106
wow.
This year. So, yeah. So there's quite a few. Obviously, we'd be breaking the 100 mandate, which they say is the next step we're going to open up to. So, but we're talking about doing something outdoors possibly, and we haven't given up on prom either yet. So we're going to, tentatively the plan is to do an outdoor graduation, and that night rent a big tent and do an outdoor prom as well. So, but we'll see if we're opened up to be able to do that type of stuff.
So many things can be changing. Could end up being new traditions, and that sounds like that has potential.
I think, yeah. My high school principal, Brian Thompson, came up with the idea, and he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "It sounds like fun. Let's do it." So, I think a lot of our kids would be real excited, and then, like you said, it's a change. It's not the normal thing we've done, but nothing we're doing now is normal. So,
I think one of the what I've heard from seniors is they just did not have the opportunity for any goodbyes, and hugs and see ya, but that just was too abrupt.
Right, it was, and not just for the seniors, but for the staff members.
Yeah.
We have an elementary school teacher who's retiring this year, and she's had no closure. She's notified us she's retiring, and I've talked to her, and she said that's the hardest thing is that, so all the staff members and the kids have had no closure this year, so it's been really hard. There's no goodbye, there's no see you next year. It's been a real difficult challenge for everybody. So.
Yeah, to the teachers retiring, it's got to be devastating to not be able to, really get all the honors and the retirement.
So, yeah, we're hopefully going to come up with an idea to celebrate that retirement as well. So, you know.
When was your graduation scheduled for?
Our graduation schedule was scheduled for May 18th, I think the date was. It's been so
Okay.
weird.
It's already
now.
happened.
And it's already happened.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have already happened. And then we tentatively scheduled it for May 30th, and then now we're tentatively scheduling it for August 8th. So, you know, and then after that we'll go to Plan D. So, which we were talking about doing something with homecoming weekend if we needed to. So.
What are you doing about rounding up kindergartners for next year?
We're still, I mean, basically, we're sending out a lot of information through the mail. We don't, I mean, most of our other parents are getting information through the internet and through email, but we're not tied with our new kindergarten parents yet. So we're sending out a lot of information through the mail. It's all available on, you can register on site, online. So just as soon as we get any type of notification that somebody's coming, we immediately contact them and try to make some type of connections with them. But, you know, we don't have any testing scheduled and anything like that yet. So it's really based on what happens in the next 2 months with regards to opening it up and allowing people to congregate. So
You're kind of squeezed for space too in the elementary building, aren't you?
yeah, we're getting, everybody take a deep breath. We got a new kid coming in. So
Yeah.
it's getting close. We have a couple extra classrooms, but when I first got there 5 years ago, we had 5 extra classrooms, and now we're down to just a couple. So
It's been 5 years already?
yeah, 4.5. So
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's been a while.
Well, on top of all of this, you've got the budget issues to worry about, and there's so much unknown about what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, that's, we're kind of holding our breath right now. I think everybody in the state is, because we don't really know. I mean, we know there's probably going to be some type of financial impact on us for next year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's actually been some talk about even for this current year that we're currently spending money on. So, and our fiscal year ends on the 30th of June. So we're all, I mean, we know probably $500 to $700 cut per student next year. So that's what most people are building on their budgets. But you know, that's going to have an impact on programs. It's going to have an impact on staffing. 84% of our budget's all personnel. So, you know, when the majority of your budget is personnel, that's unfortunately where the money comes from sometimes.
Oh, that's what you expect for a school. It's
Right.
You know, where you invest. And it's what we first have sent a fiscal agency when they first talked about what cuts might be like. They were saying something really scary, like 25%.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Shirky was here last week, and he said, no, it's not going to be that severe. But there's also possibility that there could be some federal intervention and contributions too.
And I think that's what we're all kind of holding our breath on, because that could alleviate a lot of this stuff that's going on. I mean, right now, I mean, you know, if they're going to allow some of this money to be used for the coronavirus stuff that we've already done, instead, you know, that, you know, is that going to impact how we're going to be budgeting for next year? So yeah, it's a really up in the air. I mean, everything is, you know. I got 4 budgets built right now. One for $500 cut, one for $700 cut, one for $900 cut, and one for $1,250 cut. So,
Wow.
So it's kind of like I sit with them and I go, okay, we'll see what happens. So.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that it's not going to be drastic changes. So this past spring, you've really converted to online or packet education. How's that progressing?
It's gone really well for us. We were 1-to-1, 1 computer per student anyway to start off with. So we have about 80 to 85% of our students participating online, and a lot of those who can't participate or who are choosing not to participate online, they're picking up paper packets. So for us, I think we're fortunate because we are 1-to-1, and you know, we're a step ahead maybe from some of these other districts that are out there that haven't had the opportunities that we've had with the computers. Our staff's already been trained with it, so we're implementing strategies that we've been using for the last 4 years. So we're just doing it more so now than we ever had before. So, but it's been very, very successful for us, and we're getting great responses from our parents and our students on how our teachers are doing and how our kids are doing. So
good. How's the internet penetration in the district?
we have about I think the last thing we said was around 94% of our students have access to the internet. Now, it may not be the best internet, but but they do have access. The streaming is a little slow on some of the sites, so we work with them. We've also put a couple outside remote areas outside our high school, so you can go park in the parking lot if you want to and get access through the parking lot. So, we do pretty well with it. We're pretty fortunate in that manner. So. More, compared to some of the other districts I know that I've talked to, we seem to be doing pretty well in that area.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a high percentage of connection. One way you have really stayed close with students is through the food service. You've been able to continue feeding the kids, and even more so.
Yeah, I mean, we're averaging 7,000 meals a week.
Oh my gosh!
So that's our food service department has been just absolutely rock on. They've been awesome. They've been working hard. They show up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They, put together all kinds of meals, and our bus, yep, there they are right there. Our bus drivers take them out and to certain spots, and then the parents come and pick them up, or anybody can come pick them up. We haven't, we don't ask. If you need food, it's there. Come get it. I mean, we don't care if your kids go to Grass Lake or not. If you need food, we have food available for you. So, this is trying time. We got to come together as a community and help everybody out. So,
that's great. And obviously, you saw all those bags stacked up on the tables. There's definitely a need. So, it's great that the schools have continued to provide the food service and all the meals 7 days a week, so thank you for doing that.
It's been our pleasure, and it's been a great feeling to work with our community and everybody to provide those opportunities. So
we will keep our fingers crossed with you for just good news as we approach the summer, and hope to see you back and everybody back and back to normal as soon as possible.
Great, thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Grass Lake Superintendent Dr. Ryle Kiser. Up next, we'll hear about the new clinic that Orthopedic Rehab